Imagine standing in the middle of a crowded marketplace. Around you, people shout about their products, each one louder than the last. Best quality, one screams. Lowest price, another insists. But amid all that noise, your attention is drawn, almost magnetically, to one quiet voice, steady and certain, speaking not about a product, but about a belief, a vision, a purpose. Somehow, without flashy banners or pushy tactics, they have your full attention. You feel connected, moved. You want to follow. But why? Why did one voice outshine 1,000 others? Today, we're about to find out. Hello, I am Bharat, and welcome to Audiofybooks, where you will find excellent audio summaries of books in a very easy and interesting way. If you want to learn from new books, do subscribe to the channel. Let's get started with today's book. Simon Sinek's Start With Why begins with a simple but powerful observation. Every person or organization can explain what they do. Some can explain how they do it, but very, very few can clearly articulate why they do it, their real purpose, cause, or belief. And it's that why that makes all the difference. Because people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Sinek shares a story about the Wright brothers. Back in the early 1900s, Samuel Pierpont Langley was chasing powered Flight 2. Langley had funding, powerful friends, and lots of media attention. The Wright brothers, on the other hand, were just two bicycle shop owners without formal education, big money, or fancy connections. Yet the Wright brothers were the ones who succeeded. Why? They were driven by a cause, by belief, by the sheer love of flight itself. Langley wanted to be rich and famous. The Wright brothers wanted to change the world. Their why lifted them off the ground. Simon introduces us to the concept of the golden circle. Picture 3 circles inside each other. The outermost is what, the middle is how, and the center is why. Most companies and people work from the outside in. They start with what they do, maybe talk about how they do it, but rarely get to why. Inspiring leaders, however, work from the inside out. They start with why, the belief that fuels them, then explain how they bring that belief to life, and finally, what they offer as proof. Take Apple, for example. When Apple communicates, they don't just say, "We make great computers." That's a what. Instead, they begin with a belief. We believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. Then they explain how they do it. Beautifully designed, user-friendly products. Only then do they get to the what. Computers, phones, gadgets. And because they start with why, people feel something deeper. They feel loyalty, excitement, and trust. Simon Sinek isn't just sharing business theories here. He's uncovering something deeply human. Deep down, we're all driven by feelings, not facts. It's biology, not psychology. Our limbic brain, the part responsible for feelings like trust and loyalty, has no capacity for language. That's why emotional connection trumps rational explanation every single time. It's why we can feel a good decision is right, even if we can't immediately explain it. He tells the story of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to make the point. On that day in 1963, Dr. King didn't stand on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and say, "I have a plan." He said, "I have a dream." People didn't show up because they were told to or paid to. They showed up because they believed what he believed. It wasn't about him. It was about them. About all of us. This idea leads to another critical insight. Leaders are those who lead, not because they have power, but because they inspire people to follow them for a cause bigger than themselves. Real leadership isn't about authority. It's about inspiration. But here's the tricky part. Finding your why isn't always easy. It takes introspection. It takes looking beyond what you sell or do to the beliefs that drive you. Simon emphasizes that your why must be authentic. You can't fake it. Manipulations like discounts, fear tactics, or limited-time offers might work temporarily, but they don't build lasting loyalty. Loyalty is earned when people feel that you are genuine, that you believe what they believe. He also dives into the dangers of what he calls split happens. When companies forget their why, when they lose sight of their original purpose and start focusing only on what they do or how they do it, they start to decline. Think about companies like Walmart. Sam Walton's original purpose was serving the community. But when leadership shifted focus purely to profits, that emotional connection weakened, and so did public trust. Sinek brings in biology again with a fascinating discussion about trust and loyalty being chemically wired into us. When leaders create an environment where people feel safe, they release oxytocin, the chemical that bonds people. This isn't just feel-good stuff. It's science. It's survival. We're tribal creatures by nature, and we want to belong to something bigger. One of my favorite analogies Simon uses is the concept of crossing the chasm. Innovators and early adopters jump in because they believe. But to reach the mainstream, you need to communicate so clearly and authentically that others, even the skeptics, feel safe to join. It's not about convincing everyone right away. It's about rallying those who already believe and letting momentum carry the message outward. You might be wondering, well, if finding my why is so important, how do I discover it? Simon gives a simple yet profound clue. Look backwards. Look at your life story. Your happiest moments, your proudest achievements, they're all clues. Your why isn't something you invent, it's something you uncover. And once you find it, everything changes. Your decisions become easier. Your communication becomes magnetic. Your business becomes more resilient. People don't just work for you. They believe alongside you. The beauty of Start With Why is that it's not just about changing how you sell or lead. It's about changing how you live. When you live and work in alignment with your why, you find deeper satisfaction, stronger relationships, and a sense of legacy. You stop chasing success in a frantic, hollow way and start building something truly meaningful. By the end of the book, Simon Sinek leaves us with a profound reminder. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. When you know your why, when you start from your why, you don't have to push people to follow you. You don't have to manipulate or shout louder than everyone else in the marketplace. Instead, you inspire them. You light a spark in them that says, yes, I believe that too. And when people believe, they follow, not because they have to, but because they want to. That's the difference between a company that survives for a few years and one that leaves a legacy. That's the difference between being a manager and being a leader. That's the difference between being heard and truly inspiring change. So today, if you remember just one thing, remember this: find your why. Start there, lead there, live there. Because when you start with why, everything else falls into place.